And we are back again. It is time for the last part of the Alan Wake analysis. It took a couple months to get us here, but we finally played the two special episodes or special features. I
Special
should change
features.
the.
Who's
Yeah.
who's counting? Life gets busy. Oh, special episode.
Doesn't matter.
I was
If,
like,
if people are watching this stuff in the future, then no time has gone by.
True.
that's right.
That's true.
It's bingeable.
That's how that
as
works.
they say.
Yeah, binge it all at once. Spend 8 hours watching us talk about Alan Wake.
When you can play
First.
the game in probably about 10 hours. Well,
Yeah,
with
watch
the
our
DLC
live
it's a lot
streams. Yeah, definitely watch everybody's live streams, and then from there comes.
And then watch this. Exactly. Consume.
Endless hours of content.
Yeah, consume like 60 hours of content for a 12-hour game.
There's more
How
in the
we roll.
universe.
Alan Wake deserves it anyway. So, these two special features are shorter DLCs where they basically took and remixed environments from the first game partially to create some interesting dark place nightmares.
Yeah, I guess what I would say is felt more gameplay heavy, but that's also because I played on Nightmare. What difficulty did folks play on?
The one I played the rest of the game on.
I played at normal difficulty. I don't think I had Nightmare
Normal.
unlocked for the DLC.
So
Nightmare mode is, in fact, a nightmare.
well, I actually enjoy. I'm very glad I played it on Nightmare, although it took me like an extra hour. So I think because I did Signal on Nightmare, it took me about 2.5 hours. I did Writer on normal because I was under duress. I had to be done by now, and I had only a couple hours. And that took me about an hour and a half. So assuming they are about the same.
Signal was a little bit
lengthwise.
longer.
Okay. I would say that I had an extra hour of trying.
Yeah,
much to her chagrin.
Signal's length and time spent for me was that I was being too conservative with everything as per usual. And they throw a lot of ammo at you. And I don't want to use batteries, and I don't want to use anything that's a special shot. And then towards the end of the Signal, I'm like, I have all this ammo, why am I not just using it? And everything was a lot easier. Go figure.
So I will say it hits you. So Signal hits you right off the bat. In the diner, one of the things that I feel like made this game easier than I would have liked, I guess is the phrase I'll use, is a lot of open areas. Diner, it's like, bam, here's a square. It's only one person wide. It hits you like right off the bat with, even though it's the same enemy
Same
types,
mechanics.
same mechanics. The variety in the locations and the constrainedness of the locations very much gave the combat kind of like a new edge. And on Nightmare, add that with, so there's less ammo and things are a little bit more of a bullet sponge, but more so they are light sponges. It just takes forever to knock down their shields. And when you're in
That's
those,
annoying.
when you're in that narrow area where you have nowhere to go,
And you
it's
don't have
actually
any
quite-
weapons at that point because it's the beginning.
yeah, I probably had to retry the diner like 6-7 times or something like that. Yeah.
I mean, they were slaughtering him. It was crazy.
But it was good because you have to work.
It was good.
You have to think about things like routing and whatnot. Like there's that one segment later on where they start to be invisible. You know, you get the enemies who are invisible, but it's like an open field with all the booms.
Oh, he
Yep.
got killed so many times.
Like on that one, it was totally about like routing. Like, okay, I can take a couple different paths, and because I'm trying to conserve ammo, I'm going to try and like attract them to the booms and get the timing right. Like it just added a couple new elements to the combat that I found a lot more fun and compelling than.
Well, just adding the words that you could activate with the flashlight was a great new element.
That was a really fun element. I also like how there are some sequences where the words are hazardous.
Yes.
So
Yes.
probably my favorite room in the first DLC was the blast room, where there's like 50 furnaces because
Yes.
because that becomes a very interesting risk reward loop.
Yep.
In that, because the booms are like the explosive
Flashbangs.
containers, and
Yep.
that they'll disorient you, but they don't do damage. But the blast furnaces will actually kill you if you just keep eating them.
Huh. I never had them kill me.
Yeah. Well, you'd have to like stick your face.
You have to be
about
right
half
next to
dozen.
them. Yeah, I
Yes.
constantly was shining the light at the floor until I wanted to use the
well,
furnaces.
That's also what's fun is up until now you could just point your flashlight wherever the hell you wanted, and you were sort of encouraged to just flash it around willy nilly. And now you have to aim your flashlight and by extension your camera at specific parts, which means that moving around to try to find things becomes more dynamic. I think it goes into the second DLC. There's the room. What's the DLC with the book birds? Is that still the first? Is that still the
Second.
signal?
First DLC.
I
Second.
thought it was first.
No,
I
it's
think
in
it's
the
the first,
because
towards the end of the first one.
Yeah,
Because
the first. Okay.
Yeah.
The second one has the bridge.
Yeah,
Okay, because
right,
I knew
yeah,
there was a part
yeah.
in the second DLC that we had to be careful with your flashlight, and that was the bridge. Because if you shined it on like the collapse word, or like the truck would fall through the bridge. That was probably one of my favorite introduced mechanics from the DLCs.
That bridge with the collapse mechanic was great. You could pull so many dudes down into the hole.
You could,
Or yourself, if you weren't paying attention.
and you would then be limiting your movement options.
Sorry, I'm flipping
Yes.
around to see if I can find the book birds. There's the book birds.
Yeah, I remember the book birds in the big open area towards the end with the hazards that you could shine your light on. Like spawning more enemies.
Yeah, there it is. That's the one.
Yeah,
It's just
and
towards the end.
If you use the boom, it basically spawns a whole bunch of enemies.
Yeah. If you get like a flare or a flashbang and you throw it in there, it sort of starts a chain reaction.
Yep.
Which can be fun for the chaos. Like you just load a save, you just run down the middle of the flare, and then you just
That would be cool.
I like how they introduced it also. It's when and out in the open area after the blast zone, where like, all right, there's fireworks, but right next to fireworks is enemies. So you accidentally lit the fireworks one, but then you started chain reaction of all these enemies coming in now, and so that's a great learning.
I did enjoy that.
My biggest way of dealing with all of this shit was running for the light. I was just like, oh, there's the light, I'm running.
I kept telling Adam to do that, and he refused. He absolutely refused.
At times. So the one
At
times.
The one in particular she's talking about is this one right here. This field here.
I hate this field. This field can die.
So I redid this one many times.
I did as well.
On Nightmare, it's just tough.
This was tough, period.
But again,
there's a pump shotgun there, though. I mean, come on.
That pump is a trap. So
yeah,
I got into a big pride moment where, like, I realized that getting that pump shotgun was just gonna spawn everything at all angles, and you'd probably gonna die.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, no, I'm getting this pump. I don't care. And I spent an extra 15 minutes I didn't need to spend getting that pump shotgun, which they then handed you 20 minutes later.
So what I find funny about you see it here. Like I had trouble picking it up on the hill. As weird as it sounds.
The physics engine on this, there was like the cool moment that like there would be the tools that you shine on.
It spawns it in the
like,
air and it falls to the ground.
Or it falls into a weird corner, or it falls off a damn ledge.
Exactly.
Yes.
And I'm like, on one hand, I'm like, is this some meta commentary that like the Dark Presence is throwing your ammo into a chasm? No, it's just, could you just take this tool spawn and move it 5 feet away from the ledge, please?
Or put it on the ground, please.
Yeah, just put it on the ground. Same thing with this shotgun. There was one time I aimed at pump, and then some guy shivved me in the kidney, so then I had to go deal with that. And then I couldn't find the pump because it had rolled all the way down the hill.
Awesome.
So my favorite part of the physics engine, also in the first DLC, is where there's the big open field with the vehicles, and you get the monster trucks running at you. So, and this drove Maria nuts too because I refused to use the
vehicles.
The vehicles.
What?
Yeah, so he just
what?
Yeah, he just ran around.
Why?
You can kill the trucks.
My problem is that I went in there, got in the vehicle, and then the two monster trucks came in and absolutely destroyed my vehicle. So I had to use the vehicle as cover and take them out with my flashlight.
There were like 4 vehicles.
Show them what you did to the vehicles.
So
Adam.
somehow, speaking of the physics engine, somehow I got that to happen.
They flipped over.
Nice.
Why didn't you then jump into the Jeep and shine your lights on them?
No need to at that point. They're both
he just
no, it just takes forever as you stand there with your light to kill one of those things.
Well, he didn't have to because they just stayed like that.
Oh, you didn't even bother killing them? You just moved on?
Yeah.
Yeah, why would I? They're flipped upside down. They can't hurt me.
But all the dudes on foot can.
I know, he could have run them over, but he refused.
You didn't even put the thing on the wheels.
No, he refused.
I did the first time.
Watching him
once I knew what it was.
Watching him play this was
that is infuriating.
Which is why I didn't watch him play the second episode. I'm like, that's cool.
Which is sad because the second episode was actually good.
Well, I'm gonna learn about it today.
Did you know this was an achievement to do this? Is that why you did this?
I did know it was one.
Oh, come the hell on! Oh my god!
It's an achievement.
There's an achievement for going through this sequence without getting a car.
But this is the part of achievements that I like.
You are the worst.
They point you to challenges.
I have no respect for you.
They point you to challenges that you wouldn't otherwise normally take on. It gives you like a reason to try.
I'll give you a challenge. Don't shoot your gun. You've got it now.
He did that in the first part of the. He did that in the first part of the game, Pete. It was also very frustrating.
But
I will agree with the point made earlier that the second DLC is superior
so much
to
better.
The first one.
Oh, that's a shame.
So I would recommend going through and watching it. You could watch Snooty's playthrough as well on the YouTubes. I use that to refresh myself.
Did you just throw that for the dog?
Yes.
All right, because it would be better than if you were throwing it for a kid.
They're asleep.
I guess. Oh,
are they?
Kids should be
They're asleep.
It's
you actually got your kids asleep at 9:30.
Yeah, my cat's going to go to bed at 8 o'clock.
That's
fantastic.
fantastic.
If they're awake, have you seen this kid's reflex time? They would have grabbed the rat out of the air.
And they can jump high too.
These are jokes.
I can't believe that you did this just for the achievement. Ugh.
No, it's the can you figure it out? I get Adam. It's just also I also there was one time I spawned a car. I then got juggled. I had no control over the car for the entire duration of the car's health bar. Got out of it, spawned a second one, and then it got wedged, and I physically could not drive it. So then I got out of that one, and then I was immediately run over. And I'm like, okay, I guess I can't half-ass this.
Whereas I took on both monster trucks with the same beaten-ass Jeep and beat them both with the same thing by steering around them.
I will say this. I thought the first DLC, from a combat perspective, had more interesting setups like this.
I would agree, but the second DLC actually had more interesting gameplay and story.
Well, so I mean, I actually felt like this DLC was sort of a setup for the second DLC, which was basically, more from a story perspective. Ooh. It was basically, setting up this whole concept of, right, Alan is hitting I don't know that I want to call it depression, right? But he's getting into a dark place.
They just did it again.
Despair.
Yeah, I don't know how he made that happen, but he did it twice in a row.
Well, the checkpoint happened to save right around the time that the one was hitting the other. So I got super lucky.
Amazing.
But anyway, right, like basically the whole arc of the signal is basically he figures out he's in somewhere in the dark presence. He gets the signal from Zane, and then you try reaching him, only to find out at the very end that, right, you may even figure it out along the way, that you are somehow have succumbed. Part of you has succumbed to the darkness, and
you're
starting to turn against yourself, right? Like it's almost like this idea of,
or the flip side, a part of you is still sane, and that is the part that you are playing.
Correct, right?
The best part is that they said that this is not Mr. Scratch that's doing this to you. This is yourself.
No, it's you.
Because you're going crazy inside the darkness. Yeah.
The part of you that doesn't want to exist anymore.
Right, that has given up, basically, right?
Yeah.
So it definitely hits like the whole despair thing, right? Like part of him has succumbed to despair, but part of him, I forget if he uses the word like lucid or... Another gameplay thing, by the way, I was just reminded of with the revolver, the timing of when you press the button matters. Like you can fire off shots quicker if you like intentionally time it at a certain cadence as opposed to just like mash it. Sorry.
Interesting.
But yeah, I actually don't have much to say about Signal aside from gameplay, which I did quite enjoy.
So I got pulled out of this in the very beginning. So like the phone spawns, and then it's VZ Navigator just hits the screen front and center. I'm just like, okay, fine, we're doing navigators.
Oh, I didn't see that.
And then Thomas Zane, I think Aaron knows where we're going with this. Thomas Zane is like, Alan Wake, can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Oh my God, are you kidding me?
And
I'm glad I played the remaster.
Oh no, it's in the remaster too.
It's in the remastered.
This is it right here, right?
Yes.
Hello? I'm trying to reach you. Can you hear me?
Oh, I didn't even put that together as it being a Verizon thing. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Right there. He's talking. I'm just like, gone.
I can't maintain the connection.
Now, this goes back to a fun theory that we had last time about who actually created who.
So
the second game does drop a big. The second DLC drops a big clue towards that.
Yeah.
Kind of, but they don't explain anything. At least I felt they didn't explain anything. They just tell you the way it is and kind of say, "Yeah."
If you want to believe it.
Any explanation's gonna have to wait, buddy. Is how I felt.
Yep. Flare gun.
Yes. So, but yeah, that's so jumping to DLC 2. I'll just pull that particular discussion up. It's at the bridge, right?
Oh man, that the redo of the rock concert fight. That was great.
That's fun. Yeah, the set pieces in 2 I felt were consistently better. Also, a lot of the gotchas in 2 had a better inherent design from gameplay. So I disliked a lot of what the Signal did because a lot of their combat boiled down to we're going to spawn something behind you, which is not fun or interesting. And what they did in the second one is they would spawn something directly in your face and then make you panic and jump off a ledge.
Yeah. Well, I'll say this: the second one was definitely more platforming heavy. Go ahead.
Oh my God, that was the only bad thing about the second one was the heavy platforming section with the boat.
For me, it was Alan was very wonky throughout the 2 DLCs. In the first DLC, I went to go grab an alarm clock at the end of the pier, but then Alan's like, "I'm over here, and the alarm clock's right here." Alan's like, jumped off the water.
I fell through the pier. Yeah.
Yep. Alan. Yeah.
And
Snooty's Alan's turning radius was like 3 meters, and so he goes to pick it up, and then Alan just Tokyo drifts off the pier.
Yes. Thank you for yes.
It feels
so
like
I'm wondering if anyone else felt that way. Like Alan's just has control of his own body, and you're like, just stop, because like in the first DLC, there's also that canyon with that small little bridge you got to go over. I died probably 5 times just because Alan could not control himself.
It feels like they hacked together. Well, first of all, it feels like platforming was never Alan Wake's strong suit. A.
Oh.
And B, they hacked together a whole bunch of other parts of the game and like put platforms to go into areas that you're not supposed to go. And in doing that, and especially in 2, where you're literally spawning stuff out of nothing and have to jump from thing to thing to thing, it's not the engine for that. Not a good engine for platforming.
Yeah, but it was kind of beyond the design intent.
Yes, you felt it
cool.
straining.
It was cool. I liked the concept of what it did, but how many times did I fall to my death? A lot.
Many.
And that's where the highlights for me were really when it's using the normal, or I'll say the intended combat, but then shifting up the arenas, right? Like the square and the diner. That was actually one of my favorites because
that was a good fight.
Yeah, because you're so enclosed and you don't, there was also the chainsaw guy in the H-shaped pipe,
Yep.
That was another one where because it's so enclosed, you have to like adjust your strategy. And like, are you trying to conserve or are you just going to resource spam the thing, right? You kind of have to make those decisions. And that's when I thought it was at its best. Not, again, trying to do something that I think was a little beyond the original design intent of the engine, because the first game had almost 0 platforming. The base game.
It's funny. From my perspective, I played Alan Wake's American Nightmare in between all this. Both of these DLCs, especially the combat portions of them, felt like bad versions of that. That does the combat way better. It is more combat focused, and the engine there does it better. I actually prefer the creepy stuff that the second DLC does. The stuff that says, is this Alan Wake anymore? Because this is a little bit creepier than Alan Wake. The stuff like the rotating room that you can't escape.
Oh,
the revolving. Yeah. Where you have to find your way through the correct series of things based on the light paint.
That was some fun surrealism. I enjoyed that.
Removing huge chunks of rocks so that the lighthouse, while it's spinning around, sweeps and kills all the enemies. I love that.
That might have been my favorite sequence in the entire DLCs, was that massive beam, because this is also like good design. They are just dumping things on you by the dozen, and you're like, well, I gotta move, but you
got to get to that next thing and get that rock gone.
Yes, and there's also using yourself as bait.
Yep, especially during the light pole area where all the light bulbs are coming out.
I loved
the
light pole section.
A little bit of light, and then you're supposed to taunt them to it, and then the madness version of you is saying there's endless enemies, you cannot escape them. He runs for his life and his death, and you're like, all right, I know now. There's gonna be endless enemies. I'm gonna use these. I'm gonna preserve my ammo and just run for it from light pole to light pole, and it worked, thankfully.
Which is not combat focused, which is what I'm saying. The times when it didn't focus on Alan Wake's combat, I felt like it was better. Only because I had experienced Alan Wake's American Nightmare, which had way better combat. Also, I wasn't playing it on Nightmare, which sounds miserable.
There was definitely some restarting.
There was restarting on normal for me.
Yeah, there was.
So we alluded to from a story perspective, and I'll play it now because Maria didn't see this.
Yeah, you got.
But there's this scene here where he starts talking to Zane, and this is where I feel like there was
You that is in control is in the cabin.
the most information.
I don't think I like that. You represent the part of Alan Wake that is capable of
I don't think I like.
planning, which is why I'm talking to you. If that part can regain control, then you have a chance of making it. But a part of you wants to give in. There's comfort in the oblivion of dreams. You represent the part that isn't ready to quit and die.
Wait, are you telling me I'm not real?
You're as real as anything else in this place.
So there are two of me?
Yes.
And the one you called Mr. Scratch, he's me as well?
No.
Zane, are you playing some kind of game with me?
I am not the author of your story.
How can you say that when you wrote that page about me and the clicker? It wasn't one of my pages. You directed me to it. You had Weaver guard it.
Yes, she was needed. And you needed the clicker. But I'm not.
What? I don't understand.
Alan, you should keep going.
Zane?
Father.
Come on!
It's such a tease, right? Like
It doesn't say anything. It just says
just enough.
It doesn't tell you anything. It just reminds you of the big mystery from the original storyline that didn't.
I'm not the
answered.
author of your story.
But I love
You
this.
Come on!
That's how I felt too. It's like you gave me nothing.
Come on!
And this is why we have to play Alan Wake 2. We have to.
We have
well,
to.
In our lifetime, at least.
We must know. Oh my
Night Springs
god.
video game.
Yeah, that's the
that's
collectibles this time.
I was so horrible at picking those up. I only got 4 of the video games. I got 8 of the alarm clocks. I got all of the cardboard cutouts. But I had the biggest trouble finding those damn video games.
So I didn't get all of any of them, but I got 8 of the 10 video games.
Oh, your ass almost fell right off.
I know.
But it wasn't me. That's good.
So I did look back and find out what the 2 I missed were. And one of the video games I missed is, you know how when you go into the house the first time and it rotates while you're inside of it?
Yes.
You can actually, while the talking is still happening, you can go backwards and exit. And there's a game on top of the house.
Oh, come on.
My God.
As it's rotating around, I'm like, I never would have found that one.
Why?
But like I said, I looked up the 2 that I hadn't gotten. I was like, where the hell? And one was just like, I don't know how I missed it. It was like right there. And I just missed it.
Boom.
Another interesting thing is with the words, like in a situation like that, when you have like the word in between things, when you hit L to amplify, there's like a lock-on effect, and sometimes it fights you. Like, I want to boost on this target, and it like snaps to another target. I'm like, no.
Yeah, the auto target will.
This is the bridge that we were talking about.
Yes.
With the collapse.
Yeah, that was my test. I'm like, what does this do? And then I got hit by the word. That's what that was. So anyway, other story elements from the second one that you want
the very
me to bring
end.
up?
Also, the Barry. Well, during the first one, you pick up Barry. What is the word that you highlighted? Is it like friend or is it like ally?
Friend,
something like that. And you pick up like your version of Barry. You create your version of Barry, and your version of Barry is there with you. You know, being a fairly good cheerleader for you. And the second DLC, that turns really bad.
Jerk Barry was so much fun.
Jerk Barry.
So here it is. Screen tremor, wall, friend. There's friend.
Friend.
So what's funny about Barry is, I think I said it last time, and I don't know that anything in the DLC undermines this. He really is sort of the representation of the life that Alan hates, right? Like the part of his life that he's trying to get rid of. Barry's like the personification of it, right? Because he's his agent.
The fame of it all.
Right.
Yeah.
And then he ends up saying later on, like the first DLC was totally a setup for the second one, which was then a setup for the second game, I feel like. But he kind of implies there, like, that he's getting jealous, like, oh, Zane's your new friend. Right. But I feel like the deeper significance of that is almost like Alan giving up on that part of his life and like moving on, and like Barry doesn't want him to move on, right? He's the bestseller. He wants him to write more books and make more money, right? Where Alan's trying to move on from that part of his life.
And if you saw Barry's standee, it pretty much talked about how he was like the super agent.
I think his is one of the ones I missed. Yeah,
it was pretty funny. He was in the church.
I have a screenshot. I can read it off.
The Thor one was my favorite.
The literary agent with the constant ailment, the frantic sidekick with the heroic rhetoric, the owner of the most fashionable jacket ever made, and the author of the indispensable guide to would-be agents everywhere, Blood from a Rock When the Goose Starts Gold Bricking, presents a new collection of short fiction by Alan Wake. Included are classics like Errand Boy, as well as numerous mortifyingly clumsy early works buried deep in disappeared writers' files. Never intended for publication? That's not the Wheeler way. Get yours now.
I love that.
That was so good.
The plaques were amazing, especially Thor 1, where like everyone's a nail to me.
Yes. The self-help book, everyone's a nail to me. For Thor Anderson.
So how did you like having to kill Thor at the end?
They both had guitars as axes.
They were awesome.
They were metal. I felt bad to it, but I'm just like, they'd want to die like this.
For Maria's benefit, at the very end, all these people that were your allies, you wind up destroying your conception or your twisted conception of them. Right before you go in the house. Yeah, right? Yeah, the cabin.
Yeah, the cabin.
Mm-hmm. While constantly being attacked by birds.
How many flares do you have?
I had 18. A boatload of flares as well.
At one point, you get a whole tire trunk full, and you get max capacity.
And then they let you... Yes, and then they let you dole them out over the whole DLC as you choose.
So
did other people like that? Because I loved that.
I enjoyed that greatly.
So where they give them to you is where you have to drop it down the well, which was my hint to drop it down the well.
I dropped mine down the well, and then I went and I was like, oh, flares. I thought because like it was like hole or something like that, and it fell down the well, and my immediate thought was that you would have to go somewhere to go find it, and it's like, I'm gonna break this game. I'm gonna throw this flare down the well and see what happens. And then I look over and was like, oh, never mind.
That's actually the solution. So this is.
I was gonna jump down the well.
Yeah.
See, they got the guitars,
there they are.
Axes, and they actually attack you with them.
At that point, did you have shotgun ammo? Why were you using the pistol?
Because I was sitting right next to the infinite of the pistol.
There's infinite shotgun ammo there too, isn't there?
Oh, I think I had the hunting rifle
right now.
Oh, I see.
But when you go up to it, there's a shotgun there. If you don't have it, it gives you the pump.
I see. Okay.
You just pushed me. But yeah, so you have to kill Thor and then Barry. And I do feel it. Again, what I was saying earlier, I feel like there is significance to the fact that Barry's the one you have to finish off. Because again, that's sort of like the part of your life that that Alan's trying to undo. I guess the other thing from the signal that I didn't bring up was, there was sort of like a mini thing with Alice and both of them, right? In the signal, there was the memories that you have of Alice.
The twisted memories.
Well, no.
In the signal, yeah.
And the signals are the ones where he feels sad about.
Isn't there a book that has her name on it?
Well, there was
Maria
a
is not coming through
cutout.
her microphone.
Oh, do we have that unplugged? It's completely unplugged, Marie, when you moved it.
Yep, there was a cardboard cutout of Alice, and that was a hint back in the signal that things around you were inaccurate, because it was like it was a coffee table book talking about life with the husband who wasn't there or something like that. I'm like, that's not true. I was like, that's an interesting dig at Alan
hers was
Wake.
by the docks, right where you are.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, the nyctophobic, which is that fear of darkness?
That would make sense.
Maria's still not coming through. I believe you are correct.
Oh,
Hi.
Okay, now she should be better.
Okay.
Yeah, so that and then there was the discussion in the second DLC where she basically says, yeah, he sucked.
Yeah, well there is
the Harmon office one, yeah.
Yeah, the photo shoot memory, that was in the signal?
That was in the signal, right? And I think that's intent. That's what I mean. Like, there were in the signal, there were a couple memories that were, I'll use the phrase, positive.
Positive memories.
That made Alan kind of miss her.
Yes, he said that was a good memory. I wish I didn't see that.
Right. So there's clearly this kind of, like, I'll say, fight against despair. Even the rational part of him, right, that hasn't given up the will to live, so to speak. Maybe rational is not the right word, but the part of him that hasn't given up the will to live, right, is the one that you control in both of these, and he's the he's the one saying, I wish I didn't remember that dream.
The other part. Oh yeah, this part. You should.
You can play it.
Yeah.
All I ever wanted was to help you, Alan. I ate all the shit you handed out. Tried to understand your pathetic, wealthy white male drama, until my life consisted of managing your never-ending crisis. I hate you for your childish temper and the arrogance and self-indulgent pride that undermine all efforts to drag you out of the hole you've insisted on digging for yourself. I hate you for leaving me in the dark with that insane monster bitch. All you had to do was act like a loving human being for once in your life and stay with me. If your dramatic exit hadn't been more important than making sure I was all right, she would never have taken me. I don't know where you went, but that's okay. I don't want to know. I don't think I'll ever be all right. The only thing that keeps me from killing myself is the hope that I'll never see you again.
We all know it's fake, but man, that hit hard.
Just to frame that, this is during a analysis between Hartman, fake Hartman, and fake Alan Wake, who has a TV for a head.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the crazy,
Hacky
sack.
So, and actually, the final boss, quote unquote, of the signal was actually a bunch of TVs too. So there is something about the I don't want to say the fake Alan, but again, the part of Alan that's given in. It's always shown like it's associated with TVs, right? Like even this one here, like TV head Alan is the one that's saying, "Yeah, Hartman, you're right. I suck. Everything you're psychoanalyzing me, I suck."
And in the main game, that other Alan that was stuck in the Aaron's gonna say.
No, go ahead. You got it. But basically, that's the darkness Alan that's stuck in the TV, and now all the TVs have collected and now being driven mad. So yeah.
Yep, it's the same version of Alan Wake, the one who's not quite there. I love the close-ups on various parts of the face and mouth. It's totally this is the stuff that made me think, oh man, this really feels like Silent Hill. Even the camera angles. Like Silent Hill 2, specifically.
Yeah. I was going to go down a rabbit hole that I will choose to not go down.
What's the rabbit hole?
Silent Hill 2.
There's also a lot of places where you fall down through holes, literally. A la Silent Hill. I love the second DLC.
Yeah, the second DLC is very crisp.
Right, but at the end, when it all ends, right, basically, so again, for Maria's sake.
Yeah.
Right, so you kill off your friends.
You get back to the house.
Worth noting that the one on the floor is the one with the bandage on his head.
Yes.
The real one. Assumedly.
Well, we had that
all
discussion
real in this place.
You're as real as this place is.
Just like that. My mind was.
And then you become him. You reintegrate.
Reintegrate, yes.
Again. But I couldn't survive in this place the way he had, and I might not make it back a second time. Leaving this place would be hard. Maybe impossible. It wouldn't take much for my thoughts to stray again. It was too easy to get lost in the dark place.
So thus begins
I was ready to curl up and die. Let
his
myself
attempt.
slip away. But here I was. The yet unwritten future waiting to unfold before me. A sequel to Departure. My name is Alan Wake, and I'm a writer.
I set up for the second game.
Yeah.
Right, so yeah, I mean, really, in macroscopic, right? Like the two DLCs are really just an exploration of Alan navigating through the dark place, and kind of fighting the despair within, and gets you to this place where like, oh, we're ready to go for another one.
He's back. He's going to try to get back with his next novel, Return,
which then comes out 10 years later in real calendar time or something. Like
so
quite a long time.
Remember, American Nightmare is in the middle there.
In terms of release, yes.
In terms of release, and also in terms of timing in the story, because all of these take place when the game comes out. So the year the game comes out is the year that the story takes place. So that at the end of the writer, he's trying to write himself back into reality. He's trying to return. Well, Alan Wake's American Nightmare, that's where it starts.
Oh, interesting.
And then you get to deal with Mr. Scratch. Mr. who is not Alan Wake.
Interesting. So, not having played American Nightmare, I thought you played as Mr. Scratch?
No.
It sounds like that's not the case.
It is not the case.
Interesting.
If you never want to play it because it's 6-7 hours of your life that you'll never get back, you can go through the YouTube video that I have and just watch the scenes that are in it. It's very combat heavy. Very combat heavy. And it also deals with a time loop. So it's the same 3 scenes over 3 times.
So it's Groundhog Day, the movie.
Yes! With slight variations. Yes!
Alan Wake meets Groundhog Day.
It's exactly what it is. And things happen differently every time that you go through because both you and some of the other characters have knowledge of what happened before and change things. It's like...
Sounds like an interesting premise.
It is really. It was a good game.
It's well done. And as Pete was saying, they spent a lot of time sanding the rough edges off the combat.
Combat is immaculate comparatively. Also, Mr. Scratch is a great character. And he's mostly played through the live-action actor for Alan Wake, who you might have seen in... Actually,
he's in the first one, yeah.
Yeah, he is in the first one.
Yeah, whenever Alan Wake is in the TV and it's like the person...
That guy.
Also, like the Alan Wake that shows up on the reality TV show.
Yes! The psycho.
What are you doing? Oh.
Mr. Scratch really is a psycho.
Like the close-up on the eyes.
Anybody who saw that stream knows what I mean.
Sure is.
It sounds like I might
Because really, he's a psycho.
Play it at some point.
Yeah.
You intrigued him.
Maybe as a bridge to Alan Wake 2. Although if it's combat heavy, I feel like certainly there's like a groove you hit, so to speak. Like it's at times
I had no idea.
Like at times it started to feel like a 3D beat 'em up in terms of, like with the endless spawning and stuff like that. Like it's all about getting them on the same side of you, manipulating spatially where they are by stunning them with the light and with the boosted light. So that's when I started having fun with it. Definitely glad
I had no idea how long American Nightmare was going to be. I thought it was like 3-4 hours tops. No, 6.
Interesting.
That was a rough stream for me.
Like
I don't do 6-hour streams. Who am I? I'm not Flame Dragon.
This never ends.
I do those.
I was very tired.
So I don't think I have much else. I don't know about you guys.
Besides picking the next game.
I think my favorite weapon, or the MVP weapon of the whole entire game, was the flares.
Flashbang.
And then flashbang, yeah.
Revolver.
Yeah.
So in terms of weapon balancing, they made your default kit incredibly reliable. You could, and I think some of the people in this call did go through the entire game more or less just using the revolver. And it works, it's effective. That is a hard balance to strike in terms of gameplay. To have your default weapon be something that's functional and useful through the whole thing, and at the same time giving the upgrade weapons enough extra value so that it's worth using them.
Agree. Yeah.
No. Having enough ammo there. Well, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. We keep overlapping. No, I agree that you definitely use a revolver for mostly everything, and then you use the hunting rifle, the shotgun, for those situations you ever need. And thankfully, this game doesn't say you can really hoard it. They want you to utilize all the tools that they're providing for you. So really, this game was fantastic with its inventory system. I really do like it.
Yeah, the wipe every chapter.
Yep.
Encourages you to use it.
But when it came to the DLC, like I went to that with the mindset that I would like, if I picked up something cool, I would almost immediately use it.
And it's funny because the second DLC starts you off with the badass lantern, right?
Yep. They just say we're not gonna mess around. Here's the best flashlight, compared to the Signal where they say here's the crap one, the less crap one, the less crap one, the not as good one, here's the good one. And that was there were different combat philosophies in both the DLCs, and that the Signal wanted to get one in on you, and they're like, oh, you want hard? Well, we're just gonna be doing cheap shots on you the whole time and put you in scenarios that Alan Wake was never built to be in. Have fun. And then
You had too easy of a time going through the town with Sarah Breaker killing everything for you. Well, now you're gonna go through the town and do it yourself. Have fun.
Yeah. I really do like the way that they will put in easier scenarios in the second DLC. Adam showed the clip that when you're going up that bridge, that there's the word boom on a narrow platform, and then there's 3 or 4 guys climbing the scaffolds out.
It's clear what you have to do.
It is clear what you have to do, and in the back of your mind, you're like, oh wait, I got this. Don't panic. Just shoot the boom. And then they all go flying off the bridge, beautiful physics engine objects. You feel like a badass.
Well, even this, like the last approach,
this.
I
love this.
I love this part. Yeah.
Oh, the lighthouse.
The lighthouse sweep.
For Maria's benefit, there's a lighthouse in the background that's just turning around slowly, and you get rid of these giant rocks, and it opens it up so that the lighthouse takes everybody out.
That is awesome.
So, Adam, did you get to the part in Bloodborne where there was the big beam of light that would give you madness if you standed in it? That was coming from the big tower, and you had to go hide from rock to rock, jumping your way up.
So if I did, I don't remember it, but I did complete the game, so I'm guessing.
You must have.
It might have been part of the Old Hunters DLC. Now that I'm thinking about it.
Okay, I did not do the DLC.
Maybe it was. Maybe it wasn't. I don't know. But in any case, this part was particularly even more satisfying because the lighthouse was on my side this time. Yeah. For context, there's a sequence in Bloodborne where there's a big light that's shining down on a massive area, and if you stand in the light for too long, you basically die. And so you have to go from hiding place to hiding place to break line of sight with this light of doom. And then naturally there's enemies coming all over the place, and your cover gets ripped away, and you have to
I do think that was base game because it's vaguely.
Yeah, you have to. So it's where Mikolash is. It's the Nightmare of Mensis.
So
that's base game.
That I had when I saw the big lighthouse just trucking people. I felt a kindred spirit in a way.
You've been on the other end of that.
Yes.
So, it was very nice to finally have something overpowered be on your side.
Especially since the lighthouse was just extinguished a little while ago by the other you. And then Zane helps you turn it back on.
So, for me, what I didn't... This is actually what I liked more about Signal, is it didn't throw you bones. Like, this was more about just timing of the clears and like making sure you kept your distance while for the next sweep.
Not to invalidate your discussion of routing, and because that is what you end up needing to do in the Signal.
Yes.
On the way that you described the gameplay, you more or less need to do that on normal as well.
Yep.
And that there are a couple of encounters that it is almost impossible to get through it on one go without any knowledge of how to fight it. And so then you have to build your way in. I know Aaron had mentioned he's just like, oh, we're playing Dark Souls now. I think he said during the stream at one point.
Yeah, the first DLC was so heavy. I'm like, okay, I gotta start dodging like Dark Souls. Let's go.
Yeah. I think that, and not to say that the author didn't have gotcha moments as well, but
the whole design of the Signal was gotcha.
Yes, which is not saying it's good or bad, but I certainly did not appreciate it with somebody who controls like Alan Wake does.
So what do you mean by gotcha?
Like
gotcha.
Gotcha.
Okay.
You're screwed.
So there's I can give you a very specific example. There is a fight. You clear through the playground where they throw the slide and the merry-go-round at you. You jump over a fence and some garbage cans and you go down. there is a scene where the camera, which normally was your cue in the base game for what the biggest threats were, goes forward, shows a bunch of guys in raincoats throwing axes at you. At the same time, they spawn 2 bastards directly behind you that if you do not immediately deal with, will start shivving you and pushing you towards the axe people, which will very likely kill you. And if you are trusting the game and the camera work, which during the base game was training you as to what the biggest threat was and how to move in the opening seconds of combat, you would then be gotcha'd by like, oh, you wanted to go deal with those adjuncts? Well, gotcha. There goes your health bar. That's a gotcha. Now, what you end up doing in the signal is that you realize that the camera is a goddamn liar. And then you just always check behind you no matter what's going on in the fight, because that's where the closest enemy is going to be.
This is the gameplay
Adam didn't do that.
This is the gameplay that Adam loves anyway, because he always loved Ninja Gaiden, where you fall off a platform and have to learn through death. So
yes. So that's where I was going to go with this. Is are checkmate scenarios valid in game design?
No. So
all right. Yeah. Yes, but if it's your norm, it's bad design.
Yeah. It is a matter of expectation. If you hand somebody Ninja Gaiden, what you're going to tell them is not, don't trust in the game. You're going to say, you're going to get reamed. You need to sit down and learn this. My problem with the signal, and again, not saying this is bad design, saying that this is not congruous design.
Right, it's a change in philosophy. I got
It's a change in philosophy, which then is rolled back for the writer, which technically does change it again to a more platforming thing. I will agree with that particular shortcoming. So, like, if Alan Wake had a lot of gotchas already, and you sort of knew that there's going to be a dude with a shiv, which there kind of was a dude with a shiv halfway through.
So this is the part you're talking about?
There's another, maybe not. I guess I got it.
It's immediately before that.
Immediately before that, sorry.
It's down the hill before the playground.
That's the one. That's the hallway.
There's this too, yeah.
This is it.
I had to redo this one a couple times. Not as much as the open field with the invisible ones or the diner. I only had to do
I went up one of the stairs and
Yes. Well, there are a few solutions to this. One is to immediately go down to where you are and do what Adam's doing, and funnel them in. The other one is to bum rush the people on the stairs, which gives you time to deal with the people who are coming behind you, and then you can sightline block.
I died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but to me, I guess I would say, right, having these moments where you those guys, yeah. See, I knew to turn around.
Those guys.
I knew to turn around
because they had already stabbed you, not because the game had trained you on how to fight them. That is the difference in expectation. Which, again, not that it is wrong in terms of gameplay design.
I won't make that statement. I will say that if it's your one-trick pony that you need to die and learn what's coming next, it's not a good design. It's like, okay, so basically you're playing Simon. At that point, you're playing Simon every time. It's a memory game more than it is dealing with what you see in front of you, because good luck.
Why is expecting the player to memorize something a bad thing?
If it's the one trick that you have and you go to it for every encounter design, it's bad. I'd rather play Simon.
See, I actually preferred that because the way I see, like, using this encounter as an example, it's like, okay, here's a new terrain. It's using the terrain interesting, right?
So now here's the next encounter. Did you get instantly wiped out by the playground?
I don't remember.
I did. I walked forward, all of the things hit me, and I died. And I was just like, oh, well, yeah, I guess that's what this DLC is.
One of my flares didn't do damage to the slide, so it just kept hitting me while the flare was going off. That was annoying.
Like, for example, like that scene in the alleyway, I agree, was cheap because the fact that they weren't behind you, that you, even though you looked in those like corners, they were not there. They came out of nowhere. They killed you because
all the
that's
scenes
how
are
much
cheap.
damage they do. Now, but when you come to the scene where the flying books happen, and you have the whole entire like field of letters or words, that's more fair. That's better game design. In my
I agree.
opinion,
That was good. This is I'm going to use good or bad, but in the context of what we're talking about, not objectively good or bad. But so a good ambush is one that
you can handle.
You have time to react. There's a correct answer and there's an incorrect answer, and you have to be able to determine and choose in the moment. So like the bird, like you're halfway through the word minefield, the birds come in. The wrong answer is to pull out a flare, is to react to the birds how you might normally. What it is you need to move away from the words.
What made you turn back there? As opposed to going the correct way past the TV like they want you to.
Me just walking around and exploring, I guess. I don't know.
So then you didn't even run into this in the intended manner where they all come and bash you in the face. That was the intended manner for this. All 4 of these things come at you and kill you, and then you're like, oh, I better be careful in this area. Because you had turned around and jumped over a piece of scenery.
Well, now you know why it's hard to watch him play.
But why is that a problem? I think
you're making the assertion that encounter design, where they intentionally kill you for you to know it, is good, and you just didn't even do it because you didn't know, because you didn't follow the right path.
I'm not saying it's good. I'm saying that there's trial and error, and it's less static, right? If it's just, I need to focus on execution of the combat mechanics, there's only so much variety you can add. When you throw in the routing aspect, I think that makes it much more interesting. So like
True.
the alleyway,
I agree with that.
Right. So you have this.
I don't agree with the
area.
I don't agree with the death thing.
But why does dying matter? Like that, it's a way to learn. If there's never the threat of dying, then it's all.
Yes, but if dying is what is expected, then it's also static. To use your own argument against you.
Death is expected. I don't think death is expected, but it is.
I think it is in a lot of these encounters in this DLC.
But is it bad because it's failure? I mean, it brings you back.
It's not bad because
seconds.
it's failure. It's bad because it gets. I mean, you just said it. It's bad because it's static. It's bad because it's the same thing over and over again.
Yep. So to use to sort of use Ninja Gaiden as an example. So Ninja Gaiden is you need to do a very specific thing, or you're going to get hit in the face. Or
you're gonna fall down a hole you didn't even know was there.
Fall down, you know he was there. So the goal in the trial and error is figuring out what these patterns are underneath. But
right.
The thing
and that's where the fun is.
Yes. Yes, and so the
trial and error and failure.
Pete,
yes.
Look at his face.
Failure is fun.
But you're going in with the expectation this is your experience.
I don't know.
For Ninja Gaiden.
But let's remove video games and let's talk about like any other game. Like, is a game fun if you can accomplish it first try? There's like no reward to that.
So the only games that are fun are games that you repeatedly fail in. By that token.
No, I wouldn't say that. But I would say that games that expect something of you in terms of like learning and adapting and figuring out a different solution and memorizing things.
You can do that without dying.
Come up with a solution.
The concept of a fail state does not need to be binary.
You can do that without dropping somebody down a pit that they didn't see, because that's a gotcha.
No, but who cares?
Yeah.
Now it creates a new obstacle, and now you have to. So like the block puzzles in Mega Man.
You always lose time.
Oh, I agree with that. But
then who cares?
But if you have
infinite time.
I'll give you another example of crappy game design. Let me walk from point A to point B, and it takes 2 minutes where nothing happens. You can't get that
I agree.
time back, but no one cares about it because I didn't fail. Well, who cares? You just wasted.
No, I still agree that that's a waste.
Like the original Alan Wake had a lot of that, like just running around and there was no
story.
Yeah, just like big areas that you just run around in, and you kind of find things and look for things.
That's the gameplay.
So, like, I'll give you an example of the original that's coming to mind. So, Alan Wake, Episode 3, so the first half of Episode 3. Not that...
I can't remember what Episode 3 was even now.
So Episode
that the trailer park?
After the trailer park, you're running from the cops.
Yeah, I hated that part.
Like, it was just running, doing nothing. And I have to get from point A to point B. From like a gameplay design perspective, I would rather a failure state than. I'm
pretty sure there were failure states.
I'm gonna follow the white dot on my upper, or the yellow dot on the upper left. Right, like here's minutes.
I didn't say that this is good gameplay. This was the worst part of that episode. And there's a failure state. You just proved it.
Right, but I'm saying you're just running around like there's nothing really happening. Whereas
it's a narrative piece. This is not a gameplay piece.
If you run into the park and get chopped down by a couple poltergeist items and then get to restart from 10 seconds earlier, you lost no time. But now you have to say, oh, okay, well, where are they coming from? Where do I want to go?
You lost no time when that happened once. You lost a half hour to an hour when it happened for every encounter.
So for the poltergeist argument specifically, poltergeists have tells. There are things that you can look at in the environment, even if it's you walk into the room and then spooky things happen and then everything turns in, like in the playground. But they're like, if you get killed by poltergeist items, it means that there is something that you did not do that the game has already told you that you needed to do. In which case, then you're just learning, you're playing, it's a mistake, and then you correct. That process is fine and it's good, and that's video games. The concept of a gotcha is that there was nothing that the game did or warned you about prior.
The TV said, and then the items came to life and killed Alan Wake. And then all of a sudden, 4 items came to life and pounded you in the face. That's a gotcha. And then the next time I knew, I just won't go through that area until the TV's done talking. Nothing gained. No gameplay gained. They could have done the normal thing they do with poltergeist items, right?
I'd rather be engaged in the game's combat mechanics and it's challenging me to find a route and go through trial and error than walk from point A to point B.
Yeah, as I said, this is not the finest example of gameplay.
No, I know, but my point is, I didn't hear anyone complain about this the first time we went through it.
There's nothing to talk about it.
There's nothing to talk about.
I'm saying there's like an expectation thing.
This is a narrative piece. The idea is that we watched the cutscene where we were going to be arrested and we jump over a fence and now we are running from the cops. At this point in the story, our mind is not occupied with, let me fight 5 dudes in the diner. Our mind is occupied with story-related questions. What happened when we were asleep? This chick that we were hanging out with that we thought is now comatose and just shaking back and forth. We had to leave Barry behind. Is he all right? This Nightingale dude just tried to kill us. Our brains are already occupied with different things that are not combat related. So the combat and the gameplay is kind of crap. And then now that we've gotten out of it, now we're coming back into more active parts of it because a car is thrown at us. And now we are hearing and seeing the signs of the dark things and the Taken killing the cops that were trying to kill us. That gives us a bunch of other things to think about, both story and gameplay.
Yeah, there's a number of sections where literally you are not doing combat-related things, where you are quote-unquote walking from one place to another. That's where the story usually happens. Like, how about that intro section where you're standing on the boat? What do they call ferry?
Ferry.
There's no combat there.
Now, if you are looking for a chiseled down core,
Serious
maximum, Sam. The Serious Sam would help you there. Yeah. Those kinds of games, is not what Alan Wake is. At Alan Wake's core.
And I would claim that Alan Wake has moments that are gotcha moments throughout the game, which are fine, and I don't mind a couple of gotcha moments. It's when you base the entire game, or the entire section of a game, off of, surprise, you're dead. And again, the combat is so inferior in this game compared to...
Wait.
Oh, did you guys cut out?
We did.
We lost our internet.
Our internet.
Wow. I was going to... You were just sitting there really still.
Our internet rage quit on the discussion.
Man, we can't handle it. We're going too deep in it.
Oh,
it's
man.
Fine. Yeah.
The only thing I said was that the difference is everything was based around the gotcha thing. Also, the combat's not great.
Yeah. Another thing, just briefly, not to open up yet another rabbit hole on this, though I am enjoying this conversation. I hope you are enjoying this conversation, that this is a discourse between friends. Okay, good. Continue.
No enemies.
Okay, never mind. But the concept of death as a teacher is fine, and the concept of a fail state is good and agreeable, and there is I think, what is it, Call of Duty 2? One of the Call of Duty games, like, somebody was able to beat the game without firing a shot in the campaign because of all of the set pieces and cinematic
Everything
events.
is done for you.
Yes.
Oh my lord.
We've got...
These are games that are 100% okay and expected for you to die many times to figure it out. I agree.
Correct.
And they're fun.
See, look, I just died because I got... See, that was a checkmate scenario. I made a bad decision.
This is not... I
should not have gone to the right. Next time, I should remember I'm not going to go to the right there.
Yes.
But you're
This is not the same type of argument, though.
Yeah.
Well,
so
this is styles of game.
Yeah. So the concept of a fail state and death as a teacher in this game is there's just trying to beat the game. There's trying to get a high score, and then there's doing the one credit badass stuff that you do. Right? There's like tiers of gameplay that are built onto it, and ultimately dying in an arcade game like this is not a big deal. There is in a game like Alan Wake, story heavy, narrative heavy, and also a horror game where everything you're trying to do is to keep him from dying. If you die too much, it then breaks the immersion and it breaks the narrative heft of what you're doing.
So I will agree with that to a point, although I will say there's a sweet spot there because
correct.
When we first started out the Diner Maria, I think you had comment like the first couple of times it was pretty tense, and then eventually I died enough times she grabbed the book.
I did,
but like
I was
the
bored.
First couple of times she was like,
"Oh, I thought you meant you grabbed a book to hit him with it."
No,
thought about it.
It was like intense enough that it like sucked her in because she was like, "Oh wow, this is like."
Yeah, so there is that
there's
sequence.
Like a sweet spot there.
Yes, there is. And this lends to your point of having a fail state be a real and actionable thing does engage the gameplay, because at that point it's what I call the gamer lean forward moment, where you're playing a game, you're sort of not taking it seriously, you lose, you fail, and you're like, okay, you sit up, you adjust your posture, you focus up. Like that kind of an engagement is very core for games. And so yeah, we don't want there to be a state where if you lose they just say, oh no, just keep going. It's like, no, I want to do this correctly.
Right. And so yeah, I mean there's a tough balance, right? Yes. But I do think that this sequence, right, because he's like across the way, he's throwing an axe at me, right? Like this kind of told you a little bit what this game was going to be.
Yeah, this was also this
like
was
what this DLC was going to be.
Yes. This was also I would say this level of difficulty was like the very end of the game, of the base game. You would have encounters of, I would say, comparable difficulty. I'd say that the diner maybe ratcheted it up a little bit. So this was also I hope you remembered how to play, guys.
Oh yeah, if it had been a while, you might be stuck here for quite some time.
So having something like this is good from a primer perspective, because you can't get out of this diner with sort of a half-ass, here's the flashlight, here's the revolver, okay, we're good. It's just like you said, there's positioning, there's corralling the enemies, there's being able to anticipate movement. Like you need all that stuff to get out of the diner.
Yes.
And then
no,
you do.
I agree. And it probably, like I said, took me 6 or 7 tries. Like this run here, like this should have been there were a couple things that happened. Like he came around the other side and
got flanked.
I paid too much attention to the guys in the corner, and right. So it was like a strategy thing, right? Like there's both execution and strategy.
Yes.
And like the failure state kind of forces you into like,
yeah. So
how do I want to correct? If it's obvious how to correct, then it removes the fun from the iterative nature of going from the failure state to the non-failure state.
But if every encounter is this,
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, this turns into a personal preference. Now, if Alan Wake 1 was more like this, first off, the combat would need to be increased in responsiveness in order to correct. But I feel like if Alan Wake 1 was more like this, that you're just like, it's going to be tough to live.
I had no problem with American Nightmare, because you actually have the tools to deal with shit.
Yeah, and American Nightmare is able to amp stuff up because they know you had the tools.
Matter of fact, this fight in particular takes place at a moment that you don't have any tools. You have the base level flashlight and a revolver.
Oh, agree.
So you can't even get out of it through use of some advanced tools.
Right, which is wonderful. I like that. Right, because it just forces you. It's like, okay, if you keep losing,
we're not playing Dark Souls, as Aaron said. We're not.
I'm definitely okay to, I'll say, agree that this is a preference thing, right? But to me, this was like a very fresh and welcome change that I was not expecting, and when it happened, I was like, oh, nice.
Yeah, right? From particularly because I think we had all separately mentioned that it would be nice if Nightmare was unlocked at the beginning. Now, I don't know whether or not I personally would have stuck with Nightmare. I think I would have gutted it out at the end. But I would have liked to try it. Particularly, there was like chapter 2, 3. Like there was a point where I'm like, okay, I need to feel the fear of death a little bit. In the base
I would have appreciated that too.
And
I'm not saying that I do not enjoy difficult content where you die.
Yes.
I don't enjoy content where you are expected to die to learn a piece of information that you need in order to get through it, and then that content being the repetitive, similar thing over and over and over again. That's raid design in MMOs. It really is. I mean, that's what it is. Oh, surprise! You didn't know that was coming, did you? You're dead. Now do all of the 6 minutes again to get back to the point where you need to learn the next thing. It's true. That's what it is. If you like it, become an MMO player, do challenging raids. I do that.
Time.
Well, the point is, I do that. I don't want to play Alan Wake, a game that doesn't do that, and then have that thrown at me over and over and over again.
Right.
If I want to play Dark Souls, I'll play Dark Souls.
Well, again, that's we've circled back to expectations.
Of course,
I think is
Ninja Gaiden was. Now this is the eternal argument between Adam, and I. Ninja Gaiden always was bullshit in that it expected you to die to know that there was a pitfall coming up. It's always been a problem. Just to we had this argument 20 years ago, didn't we?
Probably.
Yeah.
Right, so I'm like continually freewheeling this, and in Nightmare they take longer to like knock their shields down too. I think this.
Especially since you have the crappiest of all flashlights when you start this. The big guy this is horrible. Watching you try to flashlight down the big guy, like how long does that take? Oh, you got him. This is it. 6 bullets. No, more than 6 bullets.
Oh yeah. 8.
Wow.
Right, so it adds the tension, right? It's good. Right? Like
I didn't mind that fight.
I don't know how many times it took me, right? But that like set me up to like, oh, okay, this might be more up my alley, right, from a combat perspective. Right? Cuz
I didn't mind
because it constrained you so much. You just got that square to deal with, and that's it.
As I said, I did not mind the expectation that things were going to be difficult. I did mind when things came out of nowhere, and I was expected to die in order to know that things will come out of nowhere next time. And then they did it over and over and over and over again. That was the major problem. Like that furnace room that we were talking about, perfect example of, okay, they're going to kill you once or twice, but I was fine with that because then I had the tools to get through it.
So what was different about the furnace room that made it
less...
was
they also gave you tools to deal with the enemies, as opposed to, here's the tools that you have, your revolver, your flashlight, good luck. Oh, by the way, enemies are going to spawn behind you. Expect to die from those, know that they're coming next time. When they started with the words... Yeah, but when they started with the words to offer you help that you could shine light on, it changed the gameplay in a positive way.
That was an iteration on the gameplay loop, the use of the words, and not just having the words as helpful, but if you shine your light on the wrong things, it's bad. And that was never the case. That was never the case in the original game, so that was an innovation. And this is...
It wasn't the same.
Yeah, this is something that I was looking for that I think you solved it a different way, which is you're going into the DLC, you should already know what the gameplay is. If they don't spice something up, then it would be sort of like you said, Adam, it'd be like, oh, you have more of this, shine the flashlight, shotgun, yay. But now it's just like, here's the words, here's a furnace, here's a room that is maze-like. You have to look around, you have to figure things out, but you can't just point your flashlight anywhere or something could blow up and could be bad. Now, they did do the gotcha BS in that room, too, which wasn't the greatest. But in that room, there was actually a lot of ways you could run away.
Matter of fact, I think that everything up before the church was the combat from the game without the words, really, right?
It was.
Yeah, and then everything after the church, I had no problem with, because there was something different, including the time that the 4 hidden guys spawn and then enemies keep spawning and coming at you. I was okay with that, and I died a lot. I probably died 8 or 9 times there because I was greedy and I kept trying to get everything. Yeah, I kept trying to see, is there more stuff here? Is there more stuff here? And I died over and over again.
Well, but I think what what resonated with me about this particular sequence was the routing aspect.
Correct.
There's
they
a
gave
lot
you
of different ways
booms.
I could go, and right, and if you look at my attempts, you know, a lot of it is like trying to draw like big crowds close to the boom.
Yep.
To like get it right. So here, what I'm doing is I'm like pre-charging it. Oh
yeah,
I didn't do it there, but a lot of times I'll pre-charge it so it's close to,
and then do it over. Yeah. I mean, I found this stuff, even though they expected you to die, I found this much more fun. Because they offered you tools to deal with the difficulty. It wasn't just, oh, we expect you to die, and then you're going to have to shoot them down with your revolver. Boom.
Yeah, no, I mean, I was fine with this. You know, again, I liked it from a routing perspective. But I didn't like it significantly more or less than the.
There's the difference. I could deal with this. This gave me something. The other thing gave me nothing but frustration. Like, oh, you're gonna go around the corner, and then all of those playground instruments are gonna murder you. And then you're going to sit there and shine the flashlight on them from afar now that you know that they're going to kill you. You're going to back up and let them hit themselves against some static piece of something. You know what I mean? That's just... You just took time away from me for what? For a cheap kill?
What's funny about that is... that didn't happen to me, so maybe that's why I felt differently about it.
Probably.
But like, you watched my first time in the playground and... They didn't.
Where you turned around and went the way that the TV wasn't. Yeah, I don't even understand.
So either way, I know I'm alone in this one. I actually like the Signal better, but it could be because I played it on the higher difficulty. But because it was more combat focused and it did some different things, I enjoyed it.
I get that, but I like the story concept of the Arthur. But, you know, each player is different, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
There was a... I don't know if I ever fought a, what do they call them? One of those floating pieces of crap in this area. Yeah, there was a poltergeist there?
I didn't see a poltergeist.
Didn't you just shine one down?
I didn't think so.
20 seconds ago?
I don't think so. Maybe
maybe
there was one. Maybe there was one at the end of the train. Oh yeah.
Huh.
Oh yeah.
I don't even remember that.
It's at the end of the train.
Ah. I came at the train from the other direction.
Yeah. If you don't do the train a certain way, you'll never run into it.
I see.
Trust me, I did this point. So. Let me see. It took me 25 minutes to get through this.
Oh, wow. That's longer than me.
Yeah, I don't know how many retries it was, but my video here is 25 minutes for this section here. So, but again, I would say I had the two set pieces I had the most fun with were this one and the diner for me. Were my two favorite ones.
I liked this one and anything else with the words, the thing down in the basement with the furnaces, and the one with the minefield full of booby traps.
So the furnace one, I kept not commenting on the furnace. The furnace didn't do much for me. By the way, I think the brooms
Did you use the furnaces?
Yes, I went painstakingly slow, and blasted like all of them. And then, so because of that sequence was both very safe and boring for me because of how I approached it.
Now, no one mentioned it yet, but what's everyone's opinion about the rolly explosive barrels down a steep hill? And then
that was a fun set piece.
I love
that. Was my favorite part.
Yep.
During
I forgot about that.
Yeah,
that was in the writer, right?
Yep. That was a similar premise to the lighthouse at the end, where we're gonna throw a whole bunch of dudes at you, but here's also 50 explosive barrels. Enjoy.
And it's not that there was a no failure state. It's that if you can put 2 and 2 together on the fly fast enough, you actually can deal with the fight without failing. Because they don't expect you to die to know what's going on.
Sure. But that doesn't make it better design. Right? It's just a difference in philosophy. I'm trying to
Yeah,
find
I mean
it.
that's where I would argue that better design is that you can figure something out on the fly and actually succeed, as opposed to expecting you to fail over and over again.
See, I think I conceptually disagree with that. Where is? Because I'm pretty sure, like, the first time I did that segment, I don't remember where it is.
I think we're putting Aaron to sleep. Another segment that made me lose my mind. As I said, and I mentioned, it was a segment where you're falling because platforming sucks in this game. That's bad design. Why design a segment around platforming, even if it's really cool?
Yeah, no,
and then look at the floaty jumps. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. It's terrible.
But this part was a little goofy, but
not made for it.
No, also the Ferris wheel of death room. Like I would stare at Alan Wake's feet. Like I spent a lot of time just like screwing around and seeing how ooh, nice. And like that's a good ambush, by the way.
Exactly. You can deal with it.
You can deal with it, or you can panic and he hits you in the face,
and you die.
Well, he kills me because he indirectly kills me.
That platform that one in particular is a jerk face loser because the banisters are always facing towards you, or the handles or whatever. So you can't actually use that one, even though it looks the most secure.
Yeah,
you have to go to the bed.
The bed.
I saw I was just like, you tricky dick. I can't be mad at that.
Yeah, no, I definitely. I probably died at that part 3 or 4 times too, but I'm looking for the hill with the barrels because I remember it. Is this it?
That's it.
Yep.
Roll. I'm like, what the hell's roll? Oh no! Are you going to trigger the one that's right where you?
Yeah.
You almost triggered it to kill you. That would have been great.
But then that would have been a gotcha moment because I didn't know what roll meant. But it would have been my fault, right?
I wouldn't have killed you.
There's the difference. Gotcha moments where it's your fault are totally different.
Yeah.
No way,
Adam,
man.
stop beating it, man.
No. Gotcha moments where you do the thing that causes you to die aren't gotcha. You did it. That's like saying I fell down the hole because I saw the hole there and I decided to jump down it.
I had to explore.
Yeah, there is also.
Or you're greedy.
What kills people? Greed.
Adam, put the carrot away, man. Put the carrot.
Another aspect of the gotcha, just historically, and why gotcha as a mechanic is usually seen as a negative thing in game design, is because some of the older games back in the day, there was sort of a more adversarial relationship between the player and the designer, and that the designer would build things with the intent of screwing the player over.
And a lot of times that was to eat money out of them because they were arcade games.
And some of it was padding, some of it was quarter eating, some of it was just the superiority complex perceived as. And so that's sort of where gotcha mechanics came from, with the annotation that the designer wants to sort of pull one over on you, and in doing so is undermining the trust between the player and the designer. That is the
I hear what you're saying, and I kind of agree at parts, but I would argue that's a bad thing. That's a bad trend in game design. Having no sandpaper between the designer and the player is actually a bad thing, I would argue, not a good thing.
That is something that is mostly been removed from game design. Like once they grew up and they're like, okay, that's actually not a good way to treat the player. But the origin of gotcha as a bad term. That is what it is calling back to, just so you can sort of understand the concept of it. Because I know I could sort of see from your perspective that like we're describing a lot of these things, and you're like, well, yeah, that's just how you learn things. But the concept is that there's a different way of teaching you that doesn't involve killing you.
But I think the question I keep asking is, why is killing you bad?
It is not inherently bad. It is when you have a choice of killing the player or giving the player a chance to react, and they choose to kill the player.
Also, doing it repeatedly.
Yeah. So like the roll. We'll use the roll as the example. So you shine your flashlight on the roll, and then you get hit in the face with the barrel, and then you're like, "Wow, I probably shouldn't be doing that." The barrel doesn't have to kill you to learn the lesson, and then you can keep playing the game. Killing somebody is a break in the flow state. You are no longer playing the game. The game has stopped playing because you have died. Now,
right, and I'd argue that's a good thing.
And oftentimes you're repeating a section that you already did.
Yeah. So,
see, I would argue flow state is a fallacy for. I don't want to say fallacy for. Flow state is a form of addiction, right? Like, I feel like it's good to have a sandpaper. I don't know.
This is
right, because otherwise, what design becomes is just content. Like, oh well, I'm gonna, kind of have this soft ramp to get into this quote unquote flow state, and then I'm just gonna create content, and it's gonna. And to Pete's earlier point about time, right? In some ways, that disrespects the player's time because it's just like, I'm going to give more of the same and have a 20-hour padded game instead of...
You've created an imaginary example of a boring game to counter-argue your point. Just putting it...
Well, you're saying
we're listening.
That Alan Wake is that?
No. I just
we're listening, but we're not judging.
Aaron was jiggling around. I was jiggling around. Aaron pointed at the camera. I pointed at the camera. Then I pointed in one direction. He pointed in the opposite.
I feel like I've stated my point about 8 times, and I'm apologizing for wasting your time. But
you should not. No. You should never apologize with Adam. He's never going to learn the lesson.
Difference in philosophy.
Yeah, I'll say it's a difference in philosophy which can coexist in games. And this
was a good encounter.
And
because it didn't kill you because they didn't show up behind you.
Showing that Alan Wake is also a really, really good game because we're fairly passionate about what we're expecting out of it.
Yeah.
So I'd say appearing behind you is a good thing because if they always appeared in front of you, then there's no variety. You never have that extra variety of, oh crap, they're behind me.
Okay, so flip this around. Flip this on its head. When they always appear behind you in that first DLC, or often appear behind you,
it creates a situation where they're on both sides of you, and now that's a different problem you have to deal with, and they're already nicely together in front of you. It kind of creates a situation of, oh crap, I need to deal with this. It's a different problem. You have to go into problem solving. And then in an area like this where it's narrow, it's more problem solving.
Remember in the main game when you were at the end of the hedge maze and you're waiting for Barry to open up the door with the key, and you're on top of the stairs, but then you saw the cinematic peer out, and you see that you got 3 chainsaw guys in front of you, or big guys in front of you, and then two
little guys scrambling up on the sides.
And up the sides. That is good game design because of the fact that they gave you a chance to be like, okay, there are 2 people coming up from the sides. I get where these guys are saying about the alleyway and how they just like they're little Leslies that just came out of nowhere and just start poking you out of nowhere, and you're like, where the F did they come from? That's not fair. You check those corners, they weren't there, and all of a sudden, without the cue of the I would understand if the madness, Alan says, that you're surrounded, that you're going to die from this, but he didn't. It was just, you're going through a random alleyway, and they all spawn, and then those two, the worst of the worst enemies as those sickle guys that are like little rogues that come up and right behind you, and then they 4 times shot you, and then you have no response. So that to me, I got frustrated. That was the point of making you just be frustrated for frustrated reasons.
Oh, see, I see it differently.
I love this thing. Sorry, I love the thing that's on the screen.
I see it as putting you in a new situation that you now have to deal with. You start in a disadvantaged situation of being between both, right? And with having those little guys appear behind you, right? So that creates kind of a new and different challenge that still sticks with the same combat mechanics. And you have to deal with like the spacing. Okay, how am I going to get around them? Which one do I flash the flashlight on first? How do I stun them? Right? It adds kind of depth and dynamics that kind of allow for different solutions, as opposed to, hey, I was ready for him. I saw him coming. I can kind of. This says wake, by the way. I don't know if you noticed that.
Yes, I did.
See, the keys you go and say wake.
And they also click when you step on them.
Yes.
Right. So,
I understand
to me
that.
To me, that was. I'll use the phrase "a welcome change." Like, yeah, okay, I got killed the first time, but it's like, okay, now I have a new situation that I have to deal with. Those guys are behind me, and it only set me back 10 seconds, so I don't feel like I lost.
That was not the worst.
But the problem was, in my opinion, where I'm like, I don't like this part, is because of the fact that those 2 guys, if they get both 2 hits each on you, you're dead. So in my playthrough, I died to them very, like, with no response because I didn't know they were there. And that's just, it's not that it's bad game design. It's just frustrating. And this game has a couple of those frustrating moments because it's not a very good combat game. It's a very good storytelling game, a very good narration game. And this part right here is actually really interesting, this little Ferris wheel of like
I love
craziness.
This was the Silent Hill stuff. It's just like this you would not expect to see in this game. You would expect to see in Silent Hill.
That moment there with those big cylinder
Spools?
things, like you spools, like you turn the corner and they're blocking your way, and there's that momentary panic where you're like, oh,
where do I go?
Where do I go? Crap, what did I screw up?
And then the cylinder turns.
And slowly start when you're like, oh, okay, thank God. This is good.
This part.
I think everybody do this.
Everyone.
Yes.
I did this.
You gotta wait for it. You just gotta wait for it.
Yeah.
To which I would say is bad design, because you have to just stand there. Like, even after you figure it out, you just gotta stand there for 30 seconds, 40 seconds, 50 seconds. Like, when's this thing gonna get there?
This is a good gotcha, similar to the boom flashlight, because you have a chance there to intuit, oh, maybe I shouldn't jump down this hole. But you jump down the hole, and then you die. And then you're like, well, I made a choice to go down the hole, and that was the wrong choice.
Whereas you are seeing my impatience live. I'm like, there's got to be a way to navigate this where I don't have to just wait for it to turn around at the snail's pace and let me continue on with the part of the game that's actually I'm having fun with. This is a break in the flow state for me, right? Given my expectations, because now here I am. Look, I'm waiting, and I get impatient, and I go again, and it's like, yes, I got it at the perfect moment where I'm still alive. But then what do I have to do? I gotta wait at this next checkpoint again and again.
I spent a lot of time screwing around in this room. And just with this in general, just to screw around with all the physics objects. The time that I actually cleared it, I had to wait for the entire thing to cycle through. And completely 360 degrees.
Oh! Whoa, you could just stay in this room until that door opened?
Yes.
I did not do that.
How else do you do it? I thought
you can get out of that room. Yeah.
Yeah. That was what I was screwing around with initially. Like
so then I cycled around it again, and it was scary because the path from there on is just like, I don't know where to go.
I was having fun in this weird mind trip madness, but I will agree it is absolutely devoid of things trying to kill you, and there's not really problem solving going on right now at a moment to moment gameplay. So yeah, this is
waiting.
It's a waiting game.
But it was something different. I'd rather take something different that's waiting than something that's the same and dying, which is the same as waiting.
I don't know. You saw me jump down there like 4 times.
Yeah. Are you like on speed or something?
No.
I don't want to know what Adam on speed would be like. Anyway.
Yes.
I agree.
Expectations.
I agree with difficulty being good. I would play the game on hard if I could have. On Nightmare, I would if I could have. But I feel like that's different than being put in situations where you're constantly expected to fail to know what the situation is. Like this. This was... I failed several times here, and I was okay with that. Because I could put together... Okay, I go here, I go here, I go here, I go here, I use this, I use that. Because of the environmental objects.
See, here, I got through it the first time, I'm pretty sure, but then I kept running around, like, there's got to be something here, so then I kept running around, and I probably died 6 times, and then I never found anything.
I did this.
I thought there was something here, too.
I did the same thing.
There was nothing here.
I was like, they must have put some crap in a corner. I cleaned this place out, and then... and then you just get dragged in a fight after fight after fight, and your bullets are going away. Just like, what? Is there something? Am I gonna leave and there's a video game in a corner? No.
The endless spawning areas are very frustrating.
Yes.
Well, no, it's funny. There is a video game in this area, and I didn't find it despite my running around. This was
where
one of
was
the
it?
ones I missed. I'll see if the camera pans to it.
The video games I had a lot of trouble seeing because they're just lying. They're also lying on the ground. Like the alarm clocks, at least they have a profile, and they're shiny metal things.
Well, and there's the audio cue as well.
Yes.
There was the TikTok. So there's like a bed frame off in the grass on the right side of the camera. That's where it is.
I went over there to fight and I didn't see it.
Yeah.
Dude, me too. Like, you see how much I'm just running around. I'm like, there's got to be something.
Yep.
And I eventually, I think, got to the next spot, and then I'm like, no, I'm not satisfied. There has to be something.
Did you actually find something? Did you find it?
I didn't. I looked up the games I missed, and this was
the
one
ones
of the
you
two.
missed. Yeah.
This was one of the 2.
That's ridiculous.
See, they just keep coming.
All right, so after our extended conversation on difficulty in video games and gotchas, Alan Wake, what do you guys say? Good, bad, thumbs up. I should have played it a decade ago. I made a mistake.
I would say ultimately you don't need to play the DLC, but it is fun if you do. Like in terms of like, in terms of like, is there a story bit that's absolutely crucial? No. Is there something that happens in this that's going to make it worth it? No. But if you have it, pop it in. It's good times.
Yeah, I mean, it leaves the story where the game left the story. He's in the dark place. He's assumedly going to try to get himself out.
I would definitely give it my rating of like an 8 out of 10 game. Very good. Definitely play. Or actually 9 10. The combat's a little wonky, but other than that, the game, fantastic.
I fully recommend American Nightmare if you haven't played it, or if you just want to see the story of it. It's good.
So I fell off the edge. So
same thing.
My bottom line is mixed feelings. I thought the premise was cool, the story was cool. I agree that the combat for most of it, was
disappointing.
A little too straightforward, I think is the phrase I would use, particularly in the base game. I did enjoy that the DLC kind of mixed things up, as we've talked at length. So I actually had more fun with the signal than any other part of the game. from like a just gameplay fun perspective. Narratively, I would say I really liked it. But I guess I would say from a gameplay perspective, I feel like when it was at its best, it was an inferior Resident Evil 4. Right? Like kind of like crowding enemies together and corralling them and stunning them and deciding like how to stun and when to stun, right? Because ultimately this game's easier than RE4 to stun, right? You just shine the flashlight on them as opposed to like shoot them in the leg or the head to get the stagger. But I did enjoy it, and I did have fun with the DLC. And I enjoyed the main game story-wise, interesting. So that was my verdict.
I bet that Alan Wake 2 has better combat than this. I'd put money on it. On them changing.
I will be interested to see, because I am pre-biased that games that come out these days, right? So as an old-time gamer, right, games these days are not delivering on what I'm looking for most of the time. Right? There's too shallow of a learning or of a difficulty curve, and right, I'm looking for those spikes because they kind of make the game fun for me. So I'll be interested to see when we play Alan Wake 2, because I'm worried it's actually going to be too easy. We'll find out.
If they give you the tools to handle the combat, that's all I'm asking for, as opposed to janky ass controls, which Alan Wake had. You like the janky controls.
We'll talk. I'm not going to pull us down a new rabbit hole. I have work tomorrow. I would say,
as do we all.
I would say controls are an important aspect of the game design, and the more limitation you have, it gives the designer more leverage over you, and therefore can force things into fun and compelling situations, as opposed to a smorgasbord of mechanics where it's just sort of like, which mechanic do I want to throw out there today, and which, and some of them are broken. So I tend to, I almost ran off the edge there. I tend to like limitation in controls. I'll give you a great example. Castlevania's jump, not janky, in core to the design. Right? The fact that you can't control the jump like you can in Mario, you commit to the jump. That's good.
As long as the game is designed to afford it, I agree. However, Castlevania is not designed to afford it. That's the problem. But yes. Such as like Medusa heads that knock you back and will put you into infinite pits and kill you repeatedly.
Like I said, I don't want to pull us down a rabbit hole. Yes. But I won't indulge the rabbit hole anymore.
Okay.
To say my piece. I'll say my contrarian piece.
No, somebody's got to say it so that we can have something to talk against. That's it for this episode. Up next, did we talk about what we were doing?
Not formally.
Not formally. We should do that. You'll all find out eventually, but not now. I'm going to hit the stop recording button and please binge this whole series. Thank you.
And our discussion
watch
of game
everybody's
design.
stream.
Yes, and watch all of the streams.